Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 3 ingredients I think you need to create your digital marketing recipe. Now, before we get started, I'm just going to open a poll because I want to know which of the 3 ingredients that I'm going to talk about today you use. You should be able to see a poll shortly and you can pick 1, 2 or all of those if you use them, so you can pick as many as you use. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to answer this question, share what you're using at the moment, give you a few more seconds to submit your answers. Anyone else got any more? Here we go, and I'm going to close the poll in 3, 2, 1. Done. So this is what you said today. So as you can see, 100% of you are using social media. Brilliant. 83% blogging, which is a lot higher than I expected. So well done, you guys, but only 50% email marketing. And if you know me well, you'll know that email marketing is probably my favorite digital tool. So hopefully today I can change your mind about using email marketing, and you'll see why I've picked these 3 things as the tools that I feel that everyone should use to really raise awareness of their business. Okie dokie, let's get going. Now I love this graphic. I love this graphic. Sorry, I had a little message pop up there. It shows how the 3 ingredients I've just talked about fit together. And at the end, I'm going to add a little bit more to this graphic so that you can see how you can make this work for you. So why these 3 ingredients? Well, email marketing, it's a really great way to keep in touch with your prospects and your customers. So the people that already buy from you and the people you want to buy from you. And it's the tool that helps you to generate revenue, establish your credibility, and raise your brand awareness. Social media. Now, none of us have a lot of money to spend on marketing. Social media helps you to get your message in front of a big audience. It amplifies what you have to say, and it gets your message to go further. Blogging, a blog. Having a blog helps you in 2 ways. It gets people to your website and it helps to establish your credibility. Now, why are these things so important? Well, it's because using these online tools will help people to get you to your website. The place that you own, that hub that's in the middle of that graphic, the place that you own, which shares information about your business and your offering. You want people to go there and find out more about what you do. You want them to buy from you. But there are some steps that you need to follow before that sale happens. And we're going to talk about how these 3 online marketing tools can help you get that sale. So as we go through this morning, I'll help you build a picture of how all of this works. And by the end, you'll understand how to use these 3 things together in a really powerful way to help you find repeat business as well as new customers. So now that you know about the 3 ingredients, let's move on from here. Let's just go through what we are going to talk about. So I'm going to talk about each of the 3 ingredients, why you need email marketing, why you should be blogging, and what's so great about social media. Now, 100% of you said you use social media, so I think you already know what's great about social media. But I'll also tell you how to make those 3 things work together for your online marketing and work hard for your business. Now, everyone here today is either from my email list or my Facebook group or both. So I figure you know quite a bit about me already. If you don't receive my weekly email, which is called the Marketing Morsel, you can sign up via the link on the screen. And if you'd like to hear from me more often or have a bit of a chat, you can find me on all of these social networks. Now, I'm building out my YouTube channel at the moment, so if you go over there, do hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 100 people because at 100 people subscribing to my channel, a magic thing happens. I can actually have Marketing by Manal at the end of the URL. which I can't have now. So I need to get to 100 people. I'm at 84. So if you can subscribe, I'd be really grateful. Hokey pokey. So let's have a look at the first ingredient, which is email marketing. I'm going to show you why your business needs it. Now, remember, if you have questions, pop them into the question box as we go along, and I'll answer as many as I can at the end. So for me, I think email marketing is hard to beat. We're all in our inboxes, or, every day for so many things that we do. I've got a Tesco delivery coming this afternoon, and I get an email when I've finalised my shop giving me a complete breakdown of what I've ordered. That comes to my email. I have, what else do I have? Updates from brands that I love. Updates from my bank when I've gone paperless with all my bank statements. So whenever a statement is ready, I get an email telling me that a statement is ready. It pops through. Service providers. I have to admit, I owe British Gas some money. An invoice keeps popping through. But updates about anything, about my contract, about service calls that I've booked. I even sometimes get emails from my husband, even though we live in the same house. He'll forward me something that he thinks I might find interesting to read. And we get, of course, promotional messages from businesses that we subscribe to and frequent. So why email marketing? People read it, right? 81% regularly check email on their smartphones, and that's more than social media. If you have checked your email today, you'll know that you're one of these people. 99% of people check their email every day. I looked at my email this morning before I sort of started setting up for this webinar, just to make sure that I hadn't had a message from any of you giving me, asking me questions about today or telling me that you might not be able to make it. So people read it. It's reliable, right? Email gets delivered 90+% of the time. As long as you have permission from people to email them, you're not spamming them, you're not sending spammy messages, your email gets through to them 90+% of the time. Think about Facebook posts. Think about how we all struggle to get that organic reach on Facebook. So it is reliable. And it works, right? It has 3 times the conversion rate of social media. I said to you today that everyone that's here today is either from my email list or from my Facebook group. I've had no registrations from any of my other social media. And my Facebook group, I've found a neat way to alert everyone in the group that an event is coming. I set up an event in Facebook and I invite everyone. But out of everyone that's registered and everyone that's, I haven't checked the split for everyone who's here today, but everyone who registered, more people registered from my email list than from the Facebook group. Now that's got to tell you something, right? And it's got a good return on investment. So for every £1 that you spend, the Data and Marketing Association released some research today, and they've worked out that you get an average of £35.41 back for every £1 you spend on email marketing. So to me, those figures really stack up and they make sense to me, and it makes me understand why I want to make email marketing part of my digital marketing recipe. So what else can it do for your business? Well, it's amazingly cost effective and it can help you generate revenue directly from the communications that you send out if you choose to promote. Or it can push someone into a trusting stage with your expertise. Now, if you get my emails weekly, you know that I don't sell very much, but when you registered for this webinar, I did kind of sell to you. I wanted you to take an action. I wanted you to come to this webinar. And that was my selling piece to you. And you bought from me. So it can help you increase revenue and profit. It can also do a really good job of increasing awareness for your business. If you do a great job building your list, you'll have a few prospects, quite a few prospects on your list who you'll need to nurture until they're happy enough, trust you enough to spend some money with you. And email is an amazing way to continue building that relationship over a course of time. And until people are ready to buy from you, And one of the reasons your list is so valuable is that you can't predict when someone will be ready to buy from you. So if you deliver valuable content over a period of time, more prospects will trust you. They'll understand that you're an expert in your field, or that your products are valuable to them. And that email is the most cost-effective way to communicate with your potential buyers over time. It's a great way to bring people back that have already bought from you. So those repeat purchases, they've bought a product or a service. Remember, you've invested money to get these customers. And even if you haven't spent a penny in getting these customers, you've invested your time, and your time is money. So they've already had a positive experience with you. It's much easier to ask for people to spend with you again once they've bought from you already. And when they have bought from you already and they've had this amazing experience with you, they're willing to tell other people like them, because specifically, generally we hang out with people like us. We hang out with people who we have things in common with. And if someone's bought from you before, chances are that they will know somebody in their friends or family who want your product or service, and they will recommend you and pass that email on that you've sent out. So what does an ideal email look like? If you've been to my webinars before, you might have seen this graphic, and I can't sort of extol this sort of recipe, this blueprint for an ideal email enough, because I see some really shoddy emails, and they're from big companies, and you can absolutely beat what they're doing. And if you follow this as best you can, you will get success. So subject line is really important. Keep it short, 8 words or 35 characters, because you don't want it getting cut off in people's inboxes, and not getting cut off at a really crucial point where it turns your subject line into something that you don't mean. Include your business name in the from name text. That makes you recognizable, and those two things, the subject line and the from name, helps push people to open that email, because they're intrigued by the subject line, or it makes them laugh, and they know who the email is from, so they're going to open your email. Pre-header text. The pre-header text is another space for you to promote what's in your email, and it displays right under the subject line in people's inboxes. So it's a space, an opportunity for you to entice your audience a little bit more into opening your emails. Now, I didn't have a chance to check yesterday, but I sent an email out yesterday for a client. In fact, three emails to different segments of their list. The same email, but we wanted to see how different parts of their list responded to it. And given the news on Monday about holiday destinations being open, the subject line was, what do EasyJet and TravelX have in common? And the pre-header said, no, it's not the fact that they're holiday related to holiday. I can't remember the exact words, but they've got holidays and travel in common, or something like that. Now, this email is about cyber security, and the thing that TravelX and EasyJet have in common is that they've both been victims of cyber attacks. But that subject line, I'm hoping when I check the results, will have got a really good open rate. So really focus on those 3 things as much as you can before you send out your email. Make your logo clickable to your website. I can't tell you how many big businesses don't do this. And when I want to go to their website, I click on the logo and nothing happens. We click on images all the time, and we expect them to be linked to something. So, you want people to go back to that hub. You want that central bit in that Venn diagram. You want people to visit your website. Make it easy for them. Make your logo clickable and link it to your website. Use images to communicate. As I've just said, we like to click on images, but images also are an easy way to convey your message. And you want that to be clickable to the place that you want them to go on your website. So don't send them to your homepage. On this example, it's a yoga class. So that image should be should lead people directly to the page where people can, either the schedule page or where people can book their yoga class. Keep to 3 images or fewer, because after, it's more images makes it more difficult for people to download images. So if you're looking at an email on your phone, and almost 50% of us do open emails on our phones, not all phones are set up to download images by default, and it might take a lot of time, it might take a lot of data. So keep to 3 or fewer, and realistically, like, use one really hot image that conveys your message straight away, one thing that people can focus on. Next, you don't have to write War and Peace in your emails, okay? Less is more. So focus on things that are relevant to your audience and try and stick to around about 20 lines of text. We don't have a lot of time these days. We're time poor, and we want people to get to the point really quickly. And the example I give here is the money saving expert email. I mean, I still get it every week, but it's too long. There's too much stuff in it, and I don't have time to go through it all. And I pick up bits and pieces because I follow them on Facebook, but I can't remember the last time I opened up an email and read the whole way through. And that's probably detrimental to me, because there's probably things in there that can help me with my finances, but it's too long. Include a clear call to action. So make sure you tell people what you want them to do. Save your place, sign up today, book now, buy now. Make it really obvious what you want them to do, and do it above the scroll line so that people don't have to scroll down. Remember, if you're reading on a mobile phone and you have to scroll lots, you will stop. Minimize the number of links. So I liken this to having a menu that's a book. When I used to go to restaurants, if I was presented with a menu that had lots of choices in it, I invariably took a long time to make a choice. And quite often I pressure order, which means I order something because I'm the last one, and the person who's taking the order is waiting on me, and I order something, and I get food envy because everyone's got something nicer than me. But if there are fewer choices, I make my choices more quickly. I make my decision more quickly. So don't bamboozle your readers. Don't give them so many choices that they don't make a choice at all. Make sure that your email is on brand. Apply your brand colors so that, again, it's recognizably from you, and it reinforces your brand with people. And use social media buttons, right? Use the ones where people can follow you on social media, which is what's here, and the ones where people can share your email on their social networks. It's really important because it makes your email go further. So take these best practices and turn them into a bit of a checklist for yourself, and have it with you every time you create an email to send to your list. Okie dokie, I'm just going to have a little drink. So remember to keep questions coming in the questions box. I will answer them all at the end. So the next ingredient I'm going to talk about is blogging. Now, many businesses that I meet tell me that they haven't got anything to write about on a blog, and I say that's rubbish. You have. Everyone can write about what they do and how they help their customers. And there's a really good reason why blogging is important for us small business owners. Now, before we move on, if you don't blog already, what's stopping you? Tell me in the questions, type in the questions, what's stopping you from blogging? I'll give you a couple of minutes to answer. It doesn't have to be an in-depth answer, but just let me know what's stopping you from blogging, and type your answer in the questions box. Let's have a look. Is anyone willing to tell me? Gosh, we're all quiet today. Not sure where to do this. Okay, Louise. So hopefully this will become clear at the end when we go through that Venn diagram in a little bit more detail and pull everything together. Anyone else not blogging? Sue says, time factor, everything else takes priority. Okay. Mary, I'm now blogging, but at the start it was a mental block in her head. And Gwen says, I don't have a clue where to start. Okay, let's see if we can alleviate some of these challenges to stop you from blogging, because it is really important, and I think you'll see why as we go through the next section. So I would like more visitors to my website. Who wants more visitors to their website? If you do, type yes in the question box, because honestly, I really want more people to discover me and discover what I do. Lots of yeses coming through. Now, think about the ways that people find your website. They could type your name directly into your browser, but that's the audience that you already have, right? They already know you, and they know you have a website, you're on their radar. It doesn't help to you to get more traffic on top of what you're already getting. You could pay for traffic by buying an email list. Don't you dare. Or hoping that some people click through on the emails. Is expensive, and it really don't do it. Don't buy an email list. You could pay for traffic by using advertising. You could use Google ads, but still that's money that perhaps you don't have. And the second that you stop those ads, the traffic stops coming too. So how can you drive traffic to your website? In short, blogging, social media, and search engines. And here's how it works. So think about how many pages are on your website already. You probably have some, specific ones, the home page, the about us, or about me, contact, not that many. And think about how often you update those pages. Not often. So, you have to, the way Google works is that it looks for websites that are living and breathing and regularly are updated, and blogging helps solve this problem, right? Every time you write a blog post and you put it on your, it's published on your website, that's one more indexed page on your website, which means it's one more opportunity for you to show up in search engines and drive traffic to your website in an organic search. Now, we'll get into the benefits of blogging in a little while, but it just shows you how you can not only build credibility, but also really get people to your website by giving them the answers to the questions that they're asking Google. Okay, it helps you get discovered, but you don't only create blog posts to get discovered on Google, on search engines. Blog content also gives you content to share on social media. If you are creating these posts, there are so many ways that you could repurpose these blog posts for your social media. Now, I don't know if you read a blog post I wrote. I wrote a blog post a couple of weeks ago about why you should use email marketing and social media together. And in that blog post, I think I had 6 ways that you could do that. Now, I created that blog post, I sent it to my email list, I shared it on social media. It got me traffic, organic traffic on Google, on search engines. Now what I'm doing is taking each one of those 6 ways that you can use email and social media together, and I'm creating little graphics, and I'm using those as like little tips that I put out on social media, getting people back to that blog post. So it's not a once and done, right? You have this content and you can keep using it again and again. So now that you have traffic coming to your website through your blog, you have an opportunity to convert that traffic into leads. So just like every post that you write is another indexed page, each post is an opportunity to generate new leads. And the way that it works is really simple. You just add a lead generating call to action on every blog post. So the blog post that I just talked about, using email and social media together, the call to action was to register for this webinar, because there are two things that I'm talking about on this webinar. Other blog posts that I write, the call to action might be to join my email list, or visit my YouTube channel, or download a resource. Just depends. Often these calls to action lead to things like free ebooks, free white papers, fact sheets, webinars. I've talked about webinars, trials for things, basically any content asset which someone would be willing to exchange their information for. Okay. I use a pop-up on my website. That pop-up is designed for people to take some kind of action. And I know quite a lot of people don't like pop-ups, and I don't like pop-ups. I don't like it when they come up within 2 seconds of you being on a web page. It really annoys me. And then you get rid of that, and then something else comes up, and then they want to send you notifications. No. So my pop-up actually gets activated once someone has looked around my website and decides that they're going to leave. So it's called exit intent. And as they're about to leave, it comes up and says, hey, before you go, why don't you get this thing, or sign up for this webinar, or come along and visit my YouTube channel, or whatever the call to action is at that time. So the visitor comes to my website, they see the call to action for whatever the offer is. They go to a landing page which contains a form, and they fill it in with their information. And then they get the thing back, and that gives you a chance to communicate with them. So if I am offering a free download, like a tip sheet or an ebook or whatever, I have a chance with a series of emails to communicate with those people and ask them to join my email list to hear from me more regularly. So traffic is going to help you, traffic to your website is going to help you generate leads. Now, what if I told you that I get visitors to my website in my sleep? It's a pretty neat thing, right? And lots of us want to do it. And blogging helps me to do this, and it can do the same from you. So yes, you have to write, but the impact of writing one blog post is felt a long time after it's published. If you look at this graph, you can see this is from HubSpot, and this is a blog post that they've written, but you can see those orange bars are the effect of a blog post months after it's been written. So you can see, if you sit down and write for an hour and publish a blog post a day, let's say the blog post gets you 100 views and 10 leads, and you get another 50 views and 5 leads tomorrow as a few people find it on social media, maybe your subscribers get caught up with their emails. But after a couple of days of the fanfare, the post dies, and you've maybe netted 150 views and 15 leads. But it's not done, right? This is not done. The blog is now ranking in search engines. So that means for days, weeks, months, years to come, you can generate traffic and leads from that blog post. And I'm not just saying this. This is not, things that I've read. These are things that happen for me. So back in 2016, when I started my business, I remember really well, we'd only just moved to this house, and I had one client. So I had a lot of time to work on my business. And one day I spent a whole afternoon planning content, and I planned my content from, I think it was June to the December for that year, for 2016. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of an Olympics nut. I love the Olympics. I volunteered at 2012. I was a games maker. I spend a lot of time watching the Olympics when they're on. So 2016, it was Rio. So in August, I decided my theme was about going for gold, because the Olympics was on and I could tie stuff in with that. And I wrote a blog post called 5 Ways to Promote That Award You Won. So that was in August 2016. And for the longest time, probably until the beginning of 2019, that blog post was the #1 visited post on my website. I don't promote it very much at all. In fact, every now and again, I'll think, oh, I should just do a social media post about that. So don't promote it. And the content, the traffic that comes to that blog post is all organic traffic. And if you search for promote award or promote award win or something like that, a lot of the times my blog post comes up #1 in that search result. Now, it's a bit of a tag team between that blog post and another one that I wrote maybe 2 years ago called What is Social Media Tagging and How Should You Use It? So those are the 2 top visited posts on my blog. If I look at my Google Analytics today, I know that those will be in the top 2. So blogging works. But if I haven't convinced you that you should be blogging, I think these statistics will. So 47% of buyers view 3 to 5 pieces of content before engaging with the sales rep. So before engaging with you are your sales rep. So before engaging with you, they'll look at 3 to 5 pieces of content. It beats advertising, right? 70% of consumers prefer to learn about a company via their blog than they do an advert. We don't trust adverts these days. And people trust blogs. So 1 in 4 people buy something each month based on blog content. Now, this could be you. This could be you. This could be happening to your business. All you need to do is pick up a pen or get to your keyboard and start blogging, and you can absolutely do it. Okay. So the last ingredient is social media. And I'm going to talk you through why it's so great. I mean, 100% of you use it, so you already know it's great, but I'm just going to give you some more information. Remember to keep your questions coming. I will go through them at the end. This is the last section, so we're almost there. Now, how many of you were in business 10 years ago? Were you in business? Let me know in the questions box. If you were in business, type yes. No. Mary's no. Will was in business 10 years ago. So what was marketing like for you then? How much did you rely on social media marketing? I'm just thinking back to 10 years ago. So 2011, social media was really just becoming a thing for businesses. Organic reach was off the scale. There was no advertising. Businesses had started thinking about using social media to promote themselves. So here's a typical sales funnel using traditional marketing methods. So things like print ads, radio, television, which none of us can afford, but direct mail. And this model is all about your reach, reaching out to find customers. It's bigger at the top because this is how the traditional marketing funnel works, right? You have you have to spend a lot of time, effort, money on this model. And what you're doing is trying to get as many people into the top of that funnel. And that funnel gets narrower and narrower and narrower as it gets to the bottom. And you keep fewer of the people as you go down, mainly because so much of your time is spent at the beginning and you don't really spend much time further down the funnel. And the problem with this is that it's expensive. Ads cost money, direct mail costs money. It's hard for a small business to compete in this type of landscape. But marketing now is all about flipping the funnel. Digital marketing tools like social media have completely done this. So when you begin to use online tools, digital tools, social media tools, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, what you're actually doing is talking to people that you already know. They're already in your community, your tribe. They're already customers. They're already buying from you. And you're letting them spread the word to potential new customers. Now, I call these people your secret sales force. This is what they're doing. They're going out and through this new kind of funnel, They're going out and they're evangelizing about your business. They've had this amazing experience with you, and they're telling other people how great you are and why they should buy from you. Okay, so through this new way, this new funnel, you can grow your business through repeat customers and referral. And at the end of the day, it turns out it costs less. It's less time and energy because you're not relying on marketing to strangers. You're building from the group of people that you already know, and they already love you and they already love what you do. Now, you're all here today. I'm going to say it again. You're all either on my email list or in my Facebook group. You're already here today because you know me, and hopefully you like how I break down marketing. You find it easy to understand me, and I give you value. You take what I talk about and you go and apply it to your business. And hopefully for my next webinar, you will figure out somebody, you'll know somebody who is a business buddy, and you'll send the details to them and you'll say, you should really come to this. This is going to be good for your business. So that's how it works. Now, with the rise in social media over the last, however long it's been a long time now, right? Businesses see great results from their efforts. And in fact, one study showed that 78% of people say that a company's social media use influences their purchasing decisions. Social media has an important role to play. I've got my statistics mixed up. I'm not very good with statistics. So think about this. 21% of consumers are more likely to buy from brands that they can reach on social media. How many times have you something's happened, and how many times have you reached for your phone, most probably, and posted on a company's page, Facebook page, or tweeted them, and they've got back to you and you think, this is great, or it's taken them a week to get back to you and you're just like, this is pretty shitty. They're not great. I am not using them again. It really impacts on how we perceive businesses. 38% of consumer purchases are inspired by social media. We look at our social media and somebody will say that they've bought something. A friend or family member will say that they've bought something, or they've been somewhere, they've been to a restaurant, or they've seen a film, or they've seen a play, whatever it is, and you go, I think I'm going to buy that. I'm going to go there. I'm going to eat that at that restaurant. I'm going to buy that thing. So it really helps give people that kind of comfort that someone that they know has already bought. And 84% of people share information on social media to show support for a cause. So I've got a fundraiser at the moment. I've created a Facebook fundraiser, and I'm going to talk about it a bit on my LinkedIn tomorrow because it's something that's quite close to my heart. It's for a charity called SANS, which helps anyone who has been affected by stillbirth or neonatal fatality. And that happened in my family at the end of last year. And in June, I'm going to walk 100 kilometers. I'm going to do more. I'm definitely going to do more. But the campaign is walk 100 kilometers in June, and this is a fundraiser for that charity. And I am doing a lot on social media at the moment to not only get sponsorship, but also to raise awareness of this charity. So you can see that this works. It helps sort of get your word spread further and further. So in this world of digital marketing, you'll spend less time on finding new customers and more time engaging your existing happy customers, engaging your existing happy community. Social media combined with email marketing, blogging has leveled the playing field for smaller businesses, for people like us, to compete with the big boys. Word travels quickly on social media, and more importantly, people trust the reviews that they see online. On social media, on Facebook, are you using the reviews? You know, have you got testimonials on LinkedIn? People trust this stuff much more than the things that brands are telling potential customers about themselves. You know, how many times have you learned of a business, an event, a charity, because of something that you've seen posted or shared by a friend on social media? It happens all the time. You know, one major advantage of social media is that people usually have friends and family who are like them. I told you, we hang out with people that like us, that are like us. They like doing the things that we like doing, that we have interests in common with. So if a bunch of your loyal customers like your Facebook page and they share something that you've posted to their own friends, the chances of getting that extended visibility amongst a very targeted audience for your business is really high. And the more they share about you on social media, the more that their friends and families and family and peers will see your name. And ultimately, you're going to get in front of potential customers without spending a lot of time and money. So, you know, social media is all about extending your reach. So that content needs to be things that people identify with, that answer questions, that, you know, entertain, that inform, that educate, that really has that shareable quality. And for me, it's all about educating. I'm not very good at being funny on purpose. It happens by accident. If I think I need a joke and I think about it, it doesn't work. And I'm funny by accident, and you know, and that's great. But the thing that I feel that I'm good at is educating. So my content is all about providing that information to make marketing that bit easier for small businesses, because we all have to do it. We can't outsource it right now. We don't have the resources. We all have to do it ourselves. And this is all good news for you, because as a small business, you already have a really strong, authentic connection with your customers and your prospects, right? Big brands don't have the resources to create these personal connections with their audience like we can. Think about it. How does, I've come back to my Tesco delivery that I've got booked this afternoon. How does Tesco know me? Tesco knows me through the things that I order on their website. That's it. They know nothing else about me. How do I know my customers? I know that one of my clients has got a bad back, and she has had a slipped disc, and she's been laid up for a while. And the thing that she misses doing is going down to the stables and being with her horse and you know, doing all the things that it takes to look after a horse. Tesco don't know that about her. So this is a really major advantage of being a small business, or being a small business that has local customers. You're able to interact with your audience on a really personal level, which is perfect for social media. It's absolutely a great combination. And social media gives you the opportunity to stay in touch with current and potential customers, even when they're not visiting your business or visiting your website or buying things or interacting with you in any kind of way, right? You can nurture those relationships and continue to expand them. And you do that by posting and interacting regularly. You know, if you listen to anybody who talks about marketing, I interviewed my friend Christian yesterday on the Marketing Mix. We were talking about social media. One of the things that he said that he advises small businesses to do is to be consistent. So achieve that consistency, and you'll increase your brand awareness and stay top of mind. And the truth is, you've got to be where your existing and potential customers are. And for the majority of small businesses, that is email and social media. Now, Email allows you to directly reach your audience, and social media allows you to amplify your efforts. With social media, you'll get the opportunity to grow your business by generating new leads and building and nurturing those relationships. And all of that effort will get more people to know, like, and trust you. And know, like, and trust leads to purchase. People need to understand that you are trustworthy, that you stick to your word, that you know about what you're, everything that you're talking about. You know your business inside out. You know your industry inside out. You've got expertise. Once those three things happen, people will buy from you. Now, for me, that takes a longer time. Service businesses, the buying cycle is just a bit longer. If you're a consumer business, it's shorter, but it needs to happen. So use social media to help you build and expand those relationships, increase brand awareness, and to grow your email list. Okay. So let's pull it all together so that you understand how these three things should work. So we started with email marketing. Remember, this is about giving your readers something that they'll want to read and you want them to take action on. It doesn't have to be an action every single time, but most of the time you will want to do that. But how do you get these readers? So you have sign up boxes on your blog and you ask people to sign up on your social media accounts and collect their email addresses. Next, we moved on to blogging. Now, this is all about getting people to your website, giving them a reason through the posts that you've written to visit a place that you own. And the reason that's important is because your website is not controlled by algorithms. It's not dependent on whether Facebook has just changed its algorithm or whether somebody is, commented on your LinkedIn post. It's a place you own. So how do you get ideas about what to write? Research on social media. Listen to your target audience. What are they asking? What are the problems that they're facing? This is going to help you generate content to write about. And when they get to your blog post, offer them something free in exchange for an action. And that action might be to download something, or it might be to join your email list, right? But think about the content that will go over well with them. And if you don't know, ask. The last ingredient we talked about is social media. So that's going to help you to get your message to a wider audience. And you're relying on your immediate audience to share what you post. And how do you know what they want? Well, you've done your research, the blog posts and what to write in your blog post to answer their questions. Now it's time to share those blog posts to your social media accounts. And that means all three ingredients are working together and performing well to get people to your hub, which is your website. Okay, so I hope now that you can see how email, social media, and blogging can bring potential customers to your website. This is a tried and trusted method. And yes, I use it, but I'm not the only one. I showed you the graph from HubSpot. That's a big company, and they use that recipe too. It gets them business. It works for them, it works for me, and it will work for you. Right? With some time, planning, and patience, you can make it happen. Right, let's have a look and see what questions we've got. I will pop out the questions box and let's have a look. See, let me expand this so that I can try and Mary says, is blogging weekly a good or a bad idea? It's a good idea if you can manage it. I've read lots of different research on how often to blog. I used to blog weekly, and then it became a bit impossible as my client work grew. Blogging just took more and more time, and time that I didn't have because I'm spending time doing the things that I get paid for. So I try and blog every other week, but I mix it up, right? So I ask for guest posts. So the lovely Rin Hamburg wrote me a guest post the other week. on guest blogging. So if you want to read that, that's over on my website. I also introduced a feature on my website called Manal Meets, and that's where I interview people. So I interview other experts. I've got a really great one coming up soon as I get the questions sorted out with a lady who talks about how you can take great images, great photos with a mobile phone, and it's for beginners. So that's coming up. So I vary the content. So I write some of it, I ask other people to contribute, people that I trust, and I do this interview series so that I get a different mix of content, and it means that the pressure's not always on me to write content. But every week, Google indexes pages on websites all the time, and I think it does it weekly, I think, if I remember correctly. So having something new on your website every week is not a bad idea at all. If you can manage it, it's a great thing to do. Gwen says, is it worth blogging if you don't have a website yet to drive to social media pages? I would say if you can have a website, if you can put together a website, it works better if you're getting people to your website because it's indexing pages as well. But if you want practice in writing, you can create a LinkedIn article on LinkedIn. They're not getting as much traffic as they used to before, but it's a place for you to have content. You can write long form content on Facebook as well, if you just want to get into the practice of doing it. And blogging it takes practice. I look at some of my early blog posts, because even though I've worked in marketing for a long time, I didn't really write stuff. I had a team of content creators who wrote things, and I wrote a couple of things in my last job. But I have to admit that they were edited by the content team, and I was helped along. So it's like anything. It's like it's like your brain. It's muscle. So you have to practice and do that often to get into a style that you like, and for it to not be an effort. So I'd say it's definitely worth doing, even if just to get practice, if you don't have a website yet. But I do recommend that you get a website. Mary said, in my blogs, they are in conversation with an artist. The call to action is to check out the artist page on the website. Is this a good or bad call to action? It's a good one because it's good to give people something back that because if you've interviewed them, it's nice to give them something back. So that link to their website is a good thing. What you want to do in conversation with is if perhaps you've interviewed an artist who does something similar, within that blog post, link to that other interview so that you get some internal links going between your different blog posts. So I do that quite a lot. So say I'm writing a blog post around email marketing, and it might be something like it might be about open rates and subject lines and stuff. And in it, I might mention that one of the things that you want to do is grow your email list, and then I'll link back to a blog post that I've written about how you can grow your email list. So it's good to have internal links in between blog posts as well as going out to other people. And I think what I would do is I would do a bit of an introduction and link out to that artist's website in the introduction, which if you look at my Manal Meet series, you'll see that I link to that person's website in the introduction. But generally with those types of bits of content on my website, the call to action is to join my email list. So I would have that as your call to action, but it's no bad thing to have a link out to the person's website that you're interviewing. Louise says, re-email marketing, which companies do you recommend a beginner to use? Is there one that is particularly straightforward? I'm aware of MailChimp and a few others. Enjoying the webinar. Thank you, Louise. So I use MailChimp and I use Constant Contact. I will be completely transparent. I'm a Constant Contact partner. The last job I had was at Constant Contact. I would say between the two, the features are much of a muchness. A lot of email marketing companies are now got exactly the same functionality. There's just slightly different ways that you access it. I find Constant Contact easy to use because they've got a drag and drop menu, and you edit the email. It appears in the middle of the screen, and you edit each of the sections in the actual email. The thing that I find really difficult about MailChimp is that when you click to edit a box, a thing appears on the right hand side, and that's where you do the editing, and then you have to watch as it appears in the middle. I also find other things frustrating about it to use. I just find Constant Contact much easier. And yesterday I had Constant Contact had an outage, and I couldn't get into any of my account or any of my clients' accounts. And I was able to pick up the phone and talk to someone, and they said, yeah, we've got a problem. It's not just you. We're working through it, and as you've rung in, we'll raise a ticket for you, and when it's fixed, we'll email you. So having someone on the end of the phone to speak to, for me, is really important. So those are two that I use, and I know that there are others, and I keep meaning to try some of the other ones. It's on my long list of things to do. But what I would recommend is to set up some trials with different ones, and just have a go and see which one you find the easiest to use, which one helps you to create an email and get it sent out. And the sending out bit is important, so try sending a couple of emails as well so that you can see what happens. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, thank you, Sandra. She's just given us a great tip. She said, check out the Writer's Diet online if you want to improve your writing. It worked wonders for me. Oh, gosh. So that's the Writer's Diet. I'm going to check that out. Let's have a look. See, so some of the questions that I get asked, there's one that I get asked frequently about blogging, is how long should a blog post be? So when I started, my blog posts were around about 500 to 600 words, and I used to think that it would take me a while to write that much. Nowadays, I tend to average between 1200 and 1400 words. So it sounds a lot, but the stuff that I've been reading research is that longer blog posts actually get better traction. So, oh, excuse me. So start off and see how you can, if you can get to 500 or 600 words, and then see if you can do more. And I think, as you think of topics, as you come across things that you want to write about, work out whether you can, whether that's one big blog post or whether you can break that down into smaller topics and write in more detail about a smaller part of what you're writing about. So yeah, not very long at the minute when I first started, but as I grew in confidence with writing, my blog posts get longer. So I hope that helps. We're right on time. It's 9:29. So I'm going to end there. If you have any questions, do email me or ask in the Facebook group if you're in there. I hope you enjoyed today, and I hope you understand why those 3 digital marketing tools are really important for a small business in terms of helping you get found, helping your brand awareness, and helping you find new and repeat business. You'll see a short feedback questionnaire as you exit the webinar. There's only 3 questions, and I would appreciate it if you would just take the time to let me know how today went for you. So I will see you in the Facebook group, or I will email you next week with my newsletter. So have a good rest of the week, and hope to see you in another webinar soon. Take care. Bye.